Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM, and if you like what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel to help us grow. Today's video is sponsored by KR Models, which is quite convenient really, considering they've sent me this. Now, to the untrained eye, this may look like just a box, but it's what's inside this box that's particularly relevant. For see, if I open this up, you can see that it is indeed a box holding a GT3. And this makes me very excited because the GT3 is a model I never thought I'd see ready to run, much less I thought I'd ever be able to get my hands on one. So take it out of the plastic sleeving and there we have it. Now, I really like the simplicity of the box, the fact it's just a simple drawing of what the model is, and gently release that. See, this feels like a premium model having that. So we have a little stop inside the box saying, read this before you use your model. That's fair. We have this, which is the instructions of how it goes together, like so. Just so in case you want to take it apart for various reasons. And then we have this, and now this is really nice. This is a little information pamphlet of the GT3, telling you a bit about it, a bit about them, pictures of it during its construction. That's such a nice little touch that I've not seen before. Now, when this was made and came out on the national network, it was named, well, nicknamed by railway enthusiasts, the Chocolate Zephyr, on account of this amazing orange and kind of brown paintwork that it had. I think it looks absolutely stunning.
Imagine my shock having voiced my opinion to the KR team that I wasn't a fan of the BR Blue liveried model to find they'd actually sent me one. So I quickly composed a nicely written email to wonder if there'd been some kind of mix-up. And you can imagine my surprise when almost immediately this was sent back as a response. Clearly, they knew exactly what they were doing.
A few days after sending my email to the jokers over at KR Models, this turned up. Now this one, if everything is to be believed, is actually a correct liveried GT3. So you may be wondering, well, what's the significance of the blue liveried one sat down in front of me? When they were producing the model, KR Models decided it'd be quite fun to do a what if. What if the thing had lasted for more than 5 years and survived into the BR Blue corporate livery? So they made that. Now, this is a never was-er. It never was like this. It never looked like that. What it did look like, however, was this. In this condition. So there's a nice little pack on this for extra details. There's the coupling hooks and the chains, various discs, and various other bits and bobs. We'll put that over there. Now, this is what I am genuinely excited for, is opening up this one. So it's got a little piece of protective film over the top of it, which we'll just put over there. And then, oh, that is very, very pretty. I do like the box, like the way it all comes together. I do like that. Yeah, okay, so the first impressions of this is that it's absolutely stunning. We'll pull out the piece of, well, polystyrene that's separating the two of them. It is just amazingly, strikingly pretty, isn't it? What a thing. The thing that I really like is the finish, particularly on the blue one actually, and this one as well catches the light. It's got a real kind of die-cast, and in fact actually it's quite heavy, metal finish to it. It looks like it gleams in the light, and the paint finish on it is superb. Absolutely magnificent. Now we'll go through this later, but it is fitted with working directional lights because it is DCC fitted. And it is just quite, I don't even know where to start. The detail on the grills and the side radiators is just fantastic, as is the grill on top of the tender. So the idea behind this was English Electric's gas turbine prototype. And it's called GT3 because it is gas turbine 3. The first two had already been put into service and being taken out of service by the time that this came into traffic. The idea behind its very traditional steam engine shape is that rather than using the new technology, the untested technology of having bogies with motors attached to them, this would go on the long time tested and approved standard locomotive chassis, having 6 driving wheels which were powered by the gas turbine, and then a small bogie at the front. A standard looking tender, at least from the bottom up, was paired behind it, and this was the fuel tank. This carried the kerosene needed to run the gas turbine, and it was designed, this one, to be able to use a particularly low grade fuel, to be able to use cheaper fuel to get the power it needed. And particular features that people enjoyed about it was the cab was turned out very nicely, it even had a carpeted floor. The sad truth of the real GT3 was that it came too late. By the time this one came about in '61, BR had already decided that they were moving away from gas turbines, having had the first 2 prototypes from other companies gone, yeah, they're not quite what we want, and had pretty much sold themselves on diesel electrics, with the ever increasing amount of power that came with every generation. If this had come earlier, this could have changed the way that we'd gone with the railways. But sadly, it was too little too late. Despite some very favourable reports, in order to keep up with the improving diesel technology, there would have had to be massive investments back into this, which neither English Electric or BR wanted to fund. So after 5 short years of service, this was taken away and cut up. The thing was capable of doing 90 miles an hour and weighed 123.5 tonnes. The gas turbine and EM27L produced 2,700 horsepower. It was quite striking. And part of the idea behind it was to make the mechanical aspects of it as simple as possible to aid with maintenance moving forwards if the design had been accepted. In the tender, as well as the fuel tank, there was also a toilet for the crews and a steam heat boiler. So having a closer look at this model, well, where to start? I love the details of the grills, as I said. I love the handrails that come across here, which are just so nicely added and so fine. But a real highlight for the whole thing, I think, has to be the front end. When you've got the discs on the front of it, they just look so good and give it such an amazing presence as it's coming along. The running board is lovely too. The finish is so crisp and nice. The detail in the cab, as I'm looking now at the side of the cab, you can see the control desks and the seat in there. I just think this is absolutely magnificent. And the small works plates on the front there. This must have been an amazing thing to see. I'm very, very impressed. I like the details, including the very crisp writing on the axle boxes there. The brake rigging all around the driving wheels, the front bogie. Now, admittedly, this one is the 2nd generation. The first one had problems with the front pony, but KR Models took it back and gave replacement parts to someone who had bought the 1st generation so that it runs properly. And it does look very good, doesn't it? Fitted with the small couplings as well, rather than the larger standard old school Hornby ones. I love all the details as well, like the little do beware of the overhead cables as well. Obviously, it's even got sprung buffers. I don't really see the point of sprung buffers on something like this because it's never going to actually need them, but it's a nice touch, certainly. What an incredible thing. And I suppose at the same time we can have a look at the blue one and see how it's been done. To be fair, I actually don't hate the blue at all. I just don't like the yellow accents, the yellow grille there and there. I don't really work with it, but the blue it wears fairly well. It's been a long time since I've been given a model to actually look at, a brand new model that's not been run, and I am absolutely in awe of it. And so a massive great thank you to KR Models for sending the 2 of them through. I suppose the blue one does indeed show what could have happened if BR had got behind it and gone, yes, this is the gas turbine engine that we want, and it had survived and continued to work into traffic, and we'd gone down the gas turbine route rather than the diesel electric route. But this one is just, I love the livery colour on this. I just think this orangey brown is just so good. I am also genuinely impressed at the weight of it. It's a proper hefty little thing. It's heavier than I expected it to be. It does feel almost die cast. I love the details on the side of the English Electric the EE logo on the side there, just to show off that that's what it was, an English Electric prototype. Now obviously there's only so much just gawping at the model we can do and appreciating what a superb little showpiece it is, without actually wanting to give it a run. And that's a bit of a problem at the moment because my layout has currently been disassembled. Which is why I've come here to my friend's loft layout, which, as you can see, is in the process of being majorly redeveloped. But what it's going to do is give us a good opportunity to fire up my two GT3s and see what they're actually like. So this is the first time that I've ever actually had it out on a layout or on a railway of any sort. And so what we're going to do is going to fire it up and take it through some of its functions. Oh, that's cool. I like the lights. That's really, really cool. Oh, it's got like the ignition noise on it. That's so cool. It sounds very Thunderbird-ish. Makes you think of Thunderbird too. Oh, that's just magnificent. And all being well, once it's spun up, it will then charge itself up and pull forward. Oh, this is awesome. That is absolutely... But it powers down. That is spectacular. So what we're going to do now is cut the sound of the engine, which means it will do that and spool down and take you through some of the other sound fitted things that it's got. That's so cool. That is worth the money just to have that spinning up and powering down. In fact, I don't think anybody will do anything with it apart from power up, drive a foot and then power it down again. So it has an air whistle. That's quite good as well. What else does it have? It has a buffering up or a coupling noise if it's stationary, so we should get a coupling up. Yep, that's the sound of the hook going, the chain going over the hook. Then we should get a dump valve noise of the brake being dumped when it's sitting still. But if it's moving, that will just be a brake application, which is pretty good. Then we can make the sound of the door being slammed. And then randomly a Mark 1 coach being slammed. And my personal favourite out of everything this has, it has toilet pipe discharge. Why? Why on earth do they include that? Because they're children and I've laughed, so they've achieved their thing. It's got variable speed flange squeal when it moves, obviously. There's a dispatch whistle. We can put the sounders on, which work when it's moving. Then we've got speed-dependent detonators when it's going, so it's like the emergency detonator's gone off and it goes bang, 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 bang. Then the really cool function is it's got a cab light. Bearing in mind that most of my model railway stuff is, oh, this is the first time I've, oh, that is genuinely awesome. And then obviously there's the lights of the direction light. That is superb. Now, the blue one, this has just been loaned to me. The one in the orangey brown ochre, whatever you want to call it, livery, that is actually mine. And when they asked which one I wanted, I went, oh, I'll just have DC. And they went, oh, well, you can get the DCC. And I went, oh, yeah, that's fine. I am now really regretting not having the sound fitting on this, because toilet flush and jet turbine noises, what more do I need in life than this? So now we've gone through the basic functionality of it. The orange one has the same stuff apart from no sound chip fitted, so I can turn the lights on and stuff. Let's put it out on the layout and see what it does straight out of the box. So we're on the Gauge Master digital nonsense controller here, and we're going to fire up the orange one first and see what happens. So there's no sound on my one. I'm just going to, oh, that's very nice. That's remarkably smooth as it comes away with. Now I know it's all on its magic stuff. 5 should be a brake, so I'm going to bring that back into shot. And if I press 0, that should turn on the running lights on the front, which it has. Oh, that is superb. And obviously you've got the slow controlled acceleration on the DCC. But that's beautiful how quickly it just picks up and works. That is stunning. So I'm going to go and ask it to switch to the other one. So I should be able to now turn the sound on. That's not got boring yet, that's still exciting. That's him forward. This is brilliant. I don't care about the running qualities, I just want more of the noise. Now it should just, at full power, because we have to wait for it to start up and the turbine spin up and... That is wonderfully, silkily, wonderfully... That's just brilliant. That's just absolutely, wonderfully brilliant. Now I'm just going to send that off, and we'll just allow that to do a couple of trips on its own, because that's amazing. I am at basically full power with it. Now what I've done now is I've shut down the power. But this thing basically coasts forever, because I shut the power off halfway around the layout. And it's still going. We're at nothing. It has taken about half the layout to actually come to a stop on its end, which is quite nice. There's really nice free running characteristics on it. Okay, it's a little annoying that it takes so long to respond as the turbine spins up, but the sound is brilliant. If I knock it off, function 5 on this should be the brake. So if I do this, it should just... And that does work quite well, and now I can dump. This is superb. This is actually genuinely one of the best model railway things I think I've ever had to go with. Right, so we're going to set this up. I'm just going to enjoy having it run around with this one. I'm going to set this off just on a trip on its own, because that's quite brilliant. I'm going to ask the other thing to fire up, and we're just going to start running that as well. That's just magnificent. In fact, what I should do, to make real sense, is I should have them both running this way together. So bring it to a stop, and we'll have both of them racing round together. He says bravely when it's going to come back to him. Oh, this is... Oh, can I get them to line up together? Now, as much fun as it's been running these things around light engine, the obvious thing to do now is to actually go get them a train. I love the brake sound of this. And see what they'll do when we actually put a load behind them. So I've bought all my available stock from home. So we're going to go send this now, pick up some trains and see what they do under a load. And then just run trains for a bit. Now, this may be one of the best setups I've ever had to play with. It's a brilliant locomotive, but having the CCTV of sending your locomotive off remotely to go pick up its train, that is something very special indeed. I'm very, very much enjoying it. So we're now just coming out of the shed road now. I am so overly impressed with this. don't think I've ever had all my stock out on one train before. So I'll go get the blue one now on all my passenger stock, and we'll just have them running together and generally enjoy it. So this is all of my freight stock behind my brown liveried non-sound fitted one, and as you can see, it's not even struggling. There's a good mix here of Hornby, Triang and associated others, and it's just strolling away with it. It's genuinely very impressive. I mean, I didn't expect anything less. But what we are going to do now is I'm going to switch this controller over to the sound fitted one there, and we're going to start it off and see what happens. So we wait for the turbine to spin up, turn the power up even to just maximum. Oh, there's a bit of slippage there. So I have got all of my coaches in. In fact, I've got all of my coaches plus 3 of Charles's Pullmans on it, and it does it. It does do it. It's just a little bit less inclined to do it. What was particularly interesting is when I watched the TV screen that it goes into the tunnel, I can see the coaches, still see the coaches, as this one passes me, still see the coaches. The coaches have now left and it's already out the tunnel. I may have overloaded this somewhat. Oh, but there's definitely a bit of wheel slip there. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With 11 coaches, it has a slight bit of wheel slip. I think that's fine, really, don't you? So I'm just going to enjoy these two running around, enjoy some shots of them going around Charles's layouts of just working and being really quite impressive models. It's a super model. It's nice having something that looks this nice, but also runs this well. It's absolutely brilliant. So obviously, as this is all digital, we have the free running aspect of it, and it rolls for a very long time if you just turn the power down, which means in order to stop it somewhere, I need to use the brake function, which on this controller is 5. What's really cool about doing it with this, and particularly this assorted mix of train, is that if I now ask it to start braking and push 5 for the brake to cut in, you really get a sense of it struggling to stop this long train. It gives it such a sense of weight to it. This is a wonderful thing that I'm going to explore. I think this is brilliant. The power up, and it slowly Slight bit of wheel slip with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 wagon train. These are really good. What we have here is a really outstanding little model. Now, obviously, I can't talk too much about its reliability because it is fresh out the box. However, I've not had to run it in, I've not had to do anything with it, I've just set it going and put it on a train, and it's performing absolutely flawlessly. It's also, as I said earlier in the video, a locomotive that I never thought I'd get to see ready to run. I never thought I'd be able to own one. It's just quite a magnificent looking thing. It performs really well. I'm loving having the sound. And running two of them side by side is just magnificent. Absolutely amazing. I also really like the finish. I talked about it earlier, how I like it, but as it goes around, it catches the light and just makes it look a little bit more real. I really appreciate that on it. And as much as I love the sound one, the other one going round, the motion's amazingly quiet. This one, obviously, it's making a lot of noise. I can turn that off and it fades away. And despite the slippage going on there, it's an amazing silent runner. And their low running speeds, when we've had them just shutting up down here, the characteristics of them just moving up and down on their own is magnificent. These are super models. I don't want to do anything else now. I just want to just sit here and just watch trains go around. Obviously, one of the things I would like to have been able to do is test it out on DC and just see how it works straight, without any of the fancy computing, just see what the performance of the motor is like by plugging it straight in. Haven't got the luxury to do that because of gubbins. However, I'll gloss over that part. At some point, I'll be able to put the orange one onto, well, the brown one onto my layout at home, and I can run it on my DC section and see what it's like. But for now, I couldn't ask for anything more out of a model, really, apart from maybe some smoke. But I don't really know if the turbine would have put out. I mean, it would have had a heat haze, and I may be asking a little bit too much to get a prototypical heat haze coming out the top. But apart from that, the sound is marvellous, and the sound of the jet turbine spinning up is just fantastic. I just cannot get over the sound. It is, without doubt, the best thing about the model. So if you are thinking of buying one, I can only recommend get it with the sound. The whistle's pretty good too, but the sound of that turbine going is magnificent, and all you want to do with the sound is just speed it up, slow it down, and then spool it back up again. It's a brilliant thing. Now, I'm going to be honest. In the time that it's taken from the last time I was talking to this, it has been several hours of just watching these things go around. They are fabulous, and in fact, everybody I've spoken to who's got one says that they're fabulous. Because they are. I mean, just that alone is reason enough to buy one of these. They are fantastic. The sound of the turbine sounds good enough that I believe it. It's just fantastic. I'm so very impressed with this little thing. It's brilliant. So I'm over the moon to have one of these. It's a model that I'm genuinely proud of. If you are interested, check out the KR Models website. Currently, at the time of filming, they have the orange one still in stock, but they have just announced that they're going to be doing 500 in BR black and in BR green. and I fancy really the one in BR Black. I think will look super smart. Like the BR Blue one there, never carried it, but I think will look really, really, really good. I just think they're magnificent. So a massive thank you to KR Models for sending me one of these in the first place to let me have a go with it. I've loved it. I'm absolutely over the moon. You guys have knocked it out of the park with this one. And of course, there is the link over there in the video description to find out more about KR Models and be able to order your own. And with that, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to play more with these. And if you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking somewhere over there for another one of our model railway videos, or over below it for a video we've done with the 1:1 scale. Thanks for watching, guys. And of course, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Ta-ra!